Oh boy. If only this thing worked. We could order a boat to come get us. Or, even better, order some hot grub.
These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I
Check the
received
dates.
Mrs. Fretland's letter in June, and they received my letter from July.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik.
What was that?
Casa.
So that's what it
Oh,
means. Cash register.
he put the key in here. Cool.
You're a genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house. The Vandals weren't here for the money.
I think money was the last thing on their minds.
Yeah, seriously. Child
Isn't there
murder.
supposed to be a key?
Here it is.
What the hell is going on here?
Why would Frederick keep a list of what he calls traitors?
So these
did
are the
they do to him?
traitors.
Cross him in some way. Why else keep a list of undesirables?
Okay, so Johann and Anna Fretland, because they pulled out of the mine operation. Can't read the other names. Obviously, Johann's underlined. I see a Karen. Oh, this. Oh, I did. Okay. I was kind of wondering what the key was for, but. What do you think?
Lissy, nothing. It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not
Betty
sure
was
that's...
here, and not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Great question.
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward.
Oh, we found her scarf. We found her hat.
So,
Pretty
what
obvious.
now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
Can we read this, maybe?
What's that?
A handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say?
It's to Johann.
Silly goose.
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth.
Whoa.
He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann,
Yep.
which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse.
Yep.
Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered.
Yep.
This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
Unless
They
you're
thought
busy.
Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Ruth was... What's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it. And Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann
The
thought...
mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rocks below the church. Isn't the church right above us?
Yep.
Edward, come look at this.
What do you
That's
see?
the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you 1,000,000 clams.
Where?
See for yourself.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissy, wait.
No, for sure we're checking it out. Are you kidding me? So Ruth was... Ruth died for sure. Was she murdered? Don't know. Was she murdered by Simon? Seems unlikely. because they seem to have a good relationship. We saw like pictures and stuff back and forth, and pictures of the two of them. And
I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern us.
A little girl died. We're staying in her home for God's
Yeah,
sake.
seriously.
Completely without heart? Get yourself up here, Edward Harden, right this minute.
God, it's gonna be hard for me.
It's an easy climb.
This looks very dangerous.
Oh, you're a big boy. Start acting like it.
Whoops-a-daisy. What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid.
Oh no, there's
And
even
this
the
is a
blood on the
distraction.
rocks.
I'm here for Betty, not because some girl
Edward.
got herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. Please look at me
Oh,
when
sorry.
I'm talking to you.
Wow. Sorry. Yeah, what's up?
You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and years and years. There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
And I think, like I said earlier, we follow the clues that Betty or Elizabeth, our sister, would have followed, and we get led to her.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty
wow.
of blood.
That's awful.
It's a long fall. Far enough to crush the girl's skull.
But she said, I think there's something behind it.
What?
Oh, you're hopeless. Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful. I think there's something behind it. Can
Yeah,
you move
there we
the
go.
rock aside?
Like a doll?
It must be Ruth's.
Where's the head?
Or maybe the killer also decapitates dolls.
Hold on. This pin. This is old. Very old. Looks like something from the Viking era.
It's
We are in the
also
land of Vikings.
the
This
logo.
could be 1,000 years old. It does not belong in a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin?
Oh, it's weird.
Let's go further up. Maybe we'll find more clues. Come
It's,
on, old sport. It's not far.
Can you wait just
It's the
one
logo of the
minute so
game
that
and,
I
like-
can catch my...
Like, see? When it saves
Breath.
there, it's the same thing.
Did you follow the same path, Betty?
Must
Or
have.
am I just stumbling through darkness?
I hope not.
Lissy,
Yes? You can see clear beyond the edge of the world.
one
Oh,
second.
teddy bear. We need
Oh,
to
that
take you
scared
out
me.
walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean? Can you see where she fell?
One way or the other, I
Seeing
guess.
as you're so concerned about me falling out of trees, I wouldn't want to risk falling off a cliff.
I don't really want to. I don't like heights at all.
Certainly high enough to kill a child.
If I had to
think it's
go,
high enough
this
to kill
would be
me.
the way to do it. Soaring through the air like a bird.
And landing like a rock. If she fell headfirst on that rock, she'd have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
Well,
You
it's
wanted
true.
to learn more. This is you learning more. She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense.
She just takes
Running out
off.
of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there.
Save the girl, save the world.
Lissy, slow down. I can't keep up with you. Who knows what's up there? It's not worth the risk of falling and breaking something. Lissy? Are you
Oh,
there?
shit!
My word.
Whoa.
Look away, Lissy.
Is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
What about those fresh graves at the church? There were at least half a dozen of them. Did everyone just die?
They're not necessarily
Oh,
connected.
come on.
But if they are,
This is
he
just
buries them
ghastly.
all and then kills himself.
What made him do this? How long has he been?
From the state of the body, perhaps a couple of weeks. It depends on temperature and humidity, of course.
Whoa.
What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother
Don't.
drowned herself?
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, interesting. Our mother drowned herself.
Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran, and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up
Maybe.
and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact.
Exactly. It's a maybe.
Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick. And he's too old to be Simon. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like he's resting in peace?
No. What do we do here? Do we just leave him?
You're just going to leave him hanging?
Yeah, like, I don't
You're an
know.
insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. It's tragic, but really none of my concern.
Betty, always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there? Would you care then?
I think so.
All you do is look at me when I'm talking to you.
Sorry. Ah!
Anyway, all you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty.
Yeah. Let's
What
do
are
it.
you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs.
Well, okay.
Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far.
So bossy. Wow, that's creepy. Ugh.
I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.
Have I? Oh, we're getting into some stuff here. I am intrigued.
Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
Yeah, seriously,
perhaps
they're
they left
gone.
after their daughter died.
Was murdered, you mean? Isn't that what we think happened?
I mean, it could be either. I don't know. Could be either one.
Penny for your thoughts?
She was probably murdered.
And you think Simon did it?
Your guess is
I
as
don't
good as
know.
mine. It could have been an accident.
You're really not helping.
Well, we don't
Can
know.
we talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
All right. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck. I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
I really thought I'd find Betty today.
Well, I
Oh, we're in
told
the
you not to
kitchen.
get your hopes up, Edward. I mean, we just got here. It's a big place. She could be anywhere.
It's just the thought of her alone out there in the dark.
She's a tough cookie. You're Betty. Tougher than you, teddy bear.
That's
She
obvious.
is. I feel restless.
You should sleep.
I'm not sure I can. But yes, I'll try. In a bit.
What's this
What
now?
did you find?
Someone tried to burn this.
Just like the book. Isn't that odd?
My
It's
dearest.
addressed to Mrs. Fretland. My dearest Anna. It's from her sister, Margaret. Frederick's wife. The two brothers married sisters, remember?
Yes.
I
And
appreciate
it's
that they
adorable.
like.
Keep reading.
I like that.
I really shouldn't.
Really? How else are we going to figure out what happened? Keep reading.
My dearest Anna, I miss you so very, very much. The baby is due soon, and I wish for our family to reunite before... It's been 7 years since the dreadful incident at the mine. Can we not convince Frederick and Johann to forgive and
Oh,
forget?
this is from 1909.
I know there are things Frederick has not told me about what they found and why they parted ways. Their grudge is tearing us all apart. Frederick won't even let me speak to half of our neighbors, accusing them of treason.
Yeah.
He's so very angry and full of regrets. It's eating him up. And we...
And we what?
The rest is unreadable.
Margaret reached out to her sister. But I guess it didn't work.
This was written before Simon was born, but burned recently.
Huh. The frick does that mean? What's interesting there, it says, I know there are things Frederick just not told me about what they found and why they parted ways. And I'm sure Johann keeps things from you too, though I know he's not like his twin brother. Sometimes I feel I picked the shorter straw. Oh, isn't that an awful thing to say? I do love Frederick, but it's getting harder and harder to understand him. I feel that their grudge is tearing us all apart. Frederick won't even let me speak to half of the neighbors, accusing them of treason and other dreadful things. Every day there's some new grudge or grievance, another person who has betrayed or disappointed him. He's very angry and full of regret. It's eating him up inside. Whoa. Okay. That was from before Simon was born. We pointed that
I
out.
feel restless.
You should sleep.
I'm not sure I can. But yes, I'll try. In a bit.
Do you think Simon killed Ruth?
It's
I
not
don't know.
important what I think.
I don't know what to believe. Sometimes children do monstrous things.
Whoa, what's this?
I feel
did
restless.
we
You
do
should
this?
sleep.
I'm not sure I can. But yes, I'll try.
That's me triggering the conversation with her, by the way.
Now that we know what happened to Ruth, this empty house is even spookier.
Rick, tell
It's
me
a
about it.
house, nothing more.
You know better than most that souls can linger. Especially if they died
There's
in
no such thing as a
She
soul.
keeps saying things like
life
that.
force, ghost, whatever. You know exactly what I'm talking about,
The only ghosts are in our minds.
says you.
She keeps saying like, "Oh, you've been through worse," or "You know what this is like," or whatever. There's something to do with our mother who killed herself. Obviously, is involved here.
It's almost painful to look at this photograph now. Their whole world fell apart. Ugh, I can't bear to think about it.
Okay.
I almost forgot putting this aside when I lit the fire. Wasn't there an inscription inside?
So we did light it.
Simon. Simon gave that book to Ruth.
Exactly.
But who burned it?
They're burning all
Johann.
these things.
Or Anna. If they believed Simon killed her.
But they were friendly, right? Simon and Ruth.
Seemingly.
Before...
I imagine so. And we know the sisters were close.
I still don't understand why the brothers had a falling out.
Whatever drove a wedge between them, it was big.
And they found something in that mine we don't know about. But something drove the wedge, then he pulls out of the mine operation.
The two brothers married twin sisters, Anna and Margaret Taylor. That's the Grovik stave church behind them.
All those hopes and dreams, ground to dust by misfortune.
And then this letter again. Oh, okay. Is there anything else? These are things we've already seen, but now we can talk more about them.
The mine must have been a big deal for Greywoke.
Grovik.
She keeps saying it differently every time.
To do more than live hand to mouth.
What a blow it must have been to lose it all. It's the same photograph we saw in the store.
Yeah.
Except this one's whole.
So the brother who owns the store
Frederick.
was angry with Johann.
Correct.
Before Ruth.
Correct.
Because of the mine. It all comes back to the mine.
So there's potential motive there for Frederick to kill the daughter to get back at the brother, but that's dark.
Johann and Frederick Fretland. Thick as thieves, before things took a turn.
Don't you always say that much of our pain is self-chosen?
I wonder about that.
But then, of course, we've got the body that we just found, and we don't even know who that is. So... Can we not turn some of these pages? There's got to be
These
more.
headlines make more sense now. Johann sells his share, and the cave-in occurs shortly thereafter, killing 3 people.
Including the younger brother.
Yep.
The investor pulls out, leaving Frederick with the bills.
Oh, I feel awful for everyone. Losing a brother, losing the business.
There were no happy endings here.
Oh, yeah, it's suspicious AF, for sure. Very weird. Very weird. Oh, look at this. We're like, okay. This is in a weird way.
What are you doing?
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy
Not now,
to...
please. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, no, it's weird, for sure. It's definitely weird.
You do look exhausted. Go to bed, Edward. I'll tuck you in.
I kind of want to see if she'll come upstairs with us. To, check out some of these rooms. So this we can read now. Okay, this is 1923, August 3rd. So this is recent. This morning I had lemon juice and hot water with no sugar instead of tea. I also had half an apple and dry toast. I've been gaining weight. Read about the diet in the paper. It's apparently very popular in London. But I'm dreadfully hungry and crave fried eggs and sausages. August 4th. Received an odd letter yesterday addressed to Johann. It's from an American gentleman, Mr. Edward Harden of Hanover, Massachusetts. Letter was well written and very polite. Mr. Harden received our information from the Ailson police when he requested a contact in Grovik. I do wonder why they gave him Johann's name and not Frederick's. Perhaps because our dear Margaret is no longer with us? Oh. I'm better prepared to respond in English than Frederick. Margaret, the sister. Mr. Harden inquired about his sister, Elizabeth Harden, who's traveling on her own. Apparently she's a journalist. Imagine that, crossing the Atlantic Ocean to write about Norway. Sounds wonderful. The letter said Elizabeth telegraphed her brother from Ailson to inform him that she planned to visit Grovik. Why she'd want to come to this dreary old place, I have no idea. There's nothing here worth writing about anymore. His sister has not arrived. If she had, it would have tired her out with questions about America, being a journalist, and traveling the world on her own. She sounds so interesting. I hope she does come, even though she will surely be bored out of her mind. All right, Mr. Harden, today, Johann is not comfortable writing letters, especially in English. He agrees that we should invite Mr. Harden to stay here if he decides to come. After all, there are no guest houses in Grovik, and our spare room is rarely used. Also, I have to admit, having a visitor from America sounds terribly exciting. Next day. This morning I had a boiled egg and buttered toast after Johann told me I was being silly and that I do not need to lose any weight, seeing as we're not in London and no one cares. It's funny, actually. Oh, look at this. Okay, okay. I wrote Mr. Harden to invite him to stay at the house if he decides to come. I'm terribly excited. I do worry for his sister. I wonder where she could be. August 9th. There was an argument in the shop earlier today. Frederick was yelling at poor Astrid, claiming their goats had been grazing on his land. I wanted to speak up, but knew it would only make him angrier. Johan went across the fjord this morning to purchase some necessities, including new fabrics, and to pick up the post. The letters have been piling up in the store. I sometimes worry the world has completely forgotten about us. And she doesn't write for a week. I finished another dress today. This one is for myself. There are no customers anymore. No one here needs another dress, and it's been ages since we visited the city. I hardly know anyone here, and who would want their dresses made in Gravik when they can have one tailored in Ailsund? I feel lonely today. I miss my dear Margaret so much after all these years. Okay. I think Ruth is hiding something from me. She's been awfully secretive. She goes off on her own, even more than usual, and her clothes are filthy. I don't mind her playing and exploring, of course. I always did regret Margaret and I not being allowed to run free when we were little. Ruth says she's just looking for flowers and pretty rocks. I shouldn't worry so much. Simon stopped by with a gift for Ruth, a whole bar of chocolate. He's a sweet boy, but Frederick would be furious if he knew. Because to Frederick, these guys are traitors, right? Because they bailed on him. I asked Ruth if she plays up by Frederick's farm or near the old mine. She promised she doesn't. Never had reason not to trust her, but I feel she's hiding something from me. Okay. I looked at her drawings while she was out. She's got such an imagination. September 5th. Received another letter from Mr. Harden. He'll be here in October, as planned. I look forward to having someone else to speak with, if only for a few days. Not that Johan isn't good company, but we still have to converse about outside of our daily routines. There's been no sign of Mr. Harden's sister yet. If she left Ailsund weeks ago, where could she be? She may well have decided to stop along the way. We've heard nothing, but we so rarely speak with anyone outside Gravik these days. I do hope she's all right. I would hate for Mr. Harden to come all this way to no avail. Ruth is still being secretive. I know she's hiding something. One of these days I will follow her. Okay, September 9th. No church service again today. The vicar hasn't been back since the memorial service in July. Johan believes he won't be back and that he's given up on Gravik like everyone else. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Someone damaged our boat during the night. That's the third one this month. Johan suspects Frederick, of course. I fear something is bubbling on the surface again after all these years. I'm not at all feeling well and spent most of yesterday and today in bed. Ruth was sweet and brought me potato soup and tea with honey and milk. 3 days later, she's left us. Our dearest Ruth is gone. I cannot believe it was Simon's doing. He too is now gone, and with him all hope Gravik had left in it? What? Whoops. What the hell?
Lissy!
In the sewing room.
Yeah, you need to come up here. Already played this. This is Ruth's room now. Maybe. See, like these things in here? What is this? This is church. She's drawing people sitting in church. This is the two brothers fighting, and then her and Simon. Oh, did you see that? What the? There was definitely something there. Looked like we could open that or something. Maybe we're not able to see that until later. And these doors are both locked. If they're not, I'm going to be very concerned as to why that's changed. Actually, this one's open. This is the one with the Jesus above the bed, right? Yeah. Huh. Okay. Time for bed it is, I guess. This just got very interesting. Where is she?
I feel restless.
You should sleep.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
sure I can. But yes, I'll try. In a bit.
Okay.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlands arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
Don't say that stuff.
Hush now.